Well, good morning. If you're catching us live, it is Saturday, August 31st, and we have so much fun in store for you guys this morning. We haven't done this setup of a class in over a year and a half, and we kick ourselves because this is actually one of the most demanded ways that we deliver info to you, because in our day and age, there's just a lot going on, and it's hard to devote an hour or more to learning one topic at a time. And so we came up with this idea. I don't know if any of you did college with the skinny way, where you got the cliff notes on a bunch of your books and kind of like, maybe cheated a little bit just trying to get the information in the most condensed version possible because you didn't want to do the whole thing or didn't have time to do the whole thing or all of those things. That's kind of what this is. This is the crash course on our favorite essential oil topics in a skinny version. So the skinny for the skimmers. Are you a skimmer through your book or through your emails or through your texts? Then you probably are if you're here, or maybe you just love this format. But we're going to get moving because I have 10 minutes over 8 topics, and we're going to plop them all into 90 minutes. And the cool thing is I'm not the only one teaching this morning. So you'll hear from me. I'm going to kind of MC the class, the event, but there are so many talented, really smart wellness advocates that are going to be sharing these topics with you. So are we ready? Here we go. So here's the order of events. Maybe you already know, but if you don't, this is what is in the lineup for today. We're going to start with nature's Botox. Super fun conversation about anti-aging, detox, and drainage. This is a full class we did earlier this week, but if you missed that or just need a rehash, we're going to go through that. Oils for pain. You get to hear from registered nurses this morning. How fun. This is one. Brooke's going to be going through physical, digestive, and emotional pain. Balancing your biome. We've never covered this topic before, so hold on. It's going to be so great. Sleep solutions, oils for kiddos, oils for pets. We're getting into all of our babies and fur babies this morning. And then finally, getting your oils for free. Really excited for you guys to hear about that. All right, I'm up. I get to go first. My name is Melissa Christopher. I'm a diamond advocate in doTERRA. I have a large team that I'm so blessed to support. Many of you are my customers and wellness advocates, and I'm partnered up with the rest of them here with different relationships. And it's such a blessing to be here. I have found some amazing success personally with some remedies, natural remedies that I've used for reducing the signs of aging on the skin. And I'm like, I'm sure you're thinking, aging, she looks like she's 25, right? Uh-huh. But I'm almost 40, and the conversation just really starts to change a little bit if you're in this place. So if you're in your 20s, you're probably not on this little segment because you think you're going to look that way forever. And I hope you do. But there's just life just changes you a little bit. And I believe that God designed us perfectly. I know the aging process and the graying process is his plan for sure. But I do think as women specifically, we should feel really good about the skin that we're in because of the way that we treat ourselves. And a lot of that is the way we talk to ourselves emotionally, but it's also about what we put inside of us and even what we put on our skin that honors the way God designed us. And when we do that, I have personally found we can really slow the process of aging on our skin. And I just can't wait to show you this. But I have to give you a little disclaimer. This next slide is very vulnerable for me. And anyone that knows me knows I do not like this vulnerability aspect of why I keep getting pinned to this class. But it's so important that you understand. I do believe that your beauty comes from inside. I really do. But there was a moment 2 years ago, almost to the day, it was the very end of August, when I took this picture on the left, a selfie of myself outside of my house. My kids are over here on their first day of school. We're taking pictures like we normally do. And I turned that camera around. You know, you just always go and like look at the picture you took. And I went, whoa, that's the oldest I've ever felt in my life. And obviously I was the oldest I had ever been in my life in that moment, but it was like that. It was just such a weird moment where I thought I've never felt like I could see age on my skin. So this is the skinny class. So you already get to see the results of what happened over the next few months. We're not going to like drag you on here, but you can see a little bit of the timeline. So that picture was taken August of 2022. In October, I was in convention with doTERRA. They released a new MetaPower line, which I'm going to talk about one piece of it today, the Advantage Collagen. And I started implementing that pretty regularly. In November, I introduced a DIY serum, which you're going to get the recipe for. It is a life-changing recipe. And then early in March, I started 2 other products. And after that, a an activity called gua sha, and I'll show you that as well. But look at the picture on the right. That is March of 2023. There is no touching of this, like airbrushing, or what do they call it, filtering of this photo. If there was, I would get rid of some of that acne scarring on the bottom of my chin. Trust me, because I don't necessarily want you to see every little piece of my skin that close. This is the exact same picture. I stood in the exact same spot right in front of my house. And because I knew you wouldn't believe me otherwise. Is that not remarkable of what God has created that we can utilize for our benefit? So what are those pieces? MetaPower Advantage is a big piece of it because of the way that our bodies are designed and the way that we stop producing collagen as we age. Collagen is what fills in the cracks between our fascia in our skin, but it also helps support our ligaments and our joints, our hair, all these things. That if our product was just collagen, it would be probably considered a beauty product because most people are using collagen for hair, skin, and nails. doTERRA's is that for sure, but it's a whole list of other ingredients that takes our product to, so we can say it's collagen and the biggest part of that is the NMN that's in this product, nicotinamide mononucleotide, something like that. The registered nurses are probably rolling their eyes. I'm like probably not even close to that pronunciation, but the point of it is that it's the precursor to energy in the body. And so I love this early in the morning, but I also love it midday because of the way that it just almost shocks my mitochondria into action. Like, okay, hello, let's get back to that energy production life. I know you're almost 40, but we can do this. That's what my collagen is saying. But also the liposomal vitamin C, the resveratrol, the sea buckthorn, rose apple extract. If you've checked into any high level skincare products, they always have hyaluronic acid and biotin. These are ingredients that absolutely nourish the skin, but nourish the body. And so I just do a sachet a day. Some people do more, but I find that that is enough. Now, not every day, maybe I miss a day or two, but this is a very consistent process for what the changes that I've seen in and out. Now, here's the serum that I'm using. So I'm doing this twice a day. You can do it once if you'd like, but I'm so obsessed, I can't do it once. In fact, sometimes in the middle of the day, I kind of want to do another dropper of it because it's so great. I just had a customer this morning. She's on this call. She's like, this recipe is so great. I've never had anyone tell me that it wasn't. So either y'all just aren't telling me, or seriously, every person I've introduced this serum to in the last 2 years is obsessed. So screenshot this recipe because you have to have it. You can put it in a base of any kind of carrier oil, but these essential oils are specifically designed to deal with inflammation, skin tone, increased collagen production. Did you know that? Yarrow Palm is a collagen producing duo that you can use on your skin, and you can even take it internally. It's full of antioxidants. That's why that amazing vanilla is in there, and the frankincense and all of that, and then massive hydration. I don't find that I really need a whole other lot of products on my skin when I'm using this serum. Now, here's something that you might not be familiar with, and this was definitely a huge piece to reducing the aging lines in my forehead that you saw the difference of, and it's a product that is not a part of doTERRA. Now, we know other things outside of doTERRA. You hear us talk a lot about doTERRA, but there are other companies that are amazing, that are natural based, and so hopefully we'll continue to share those. One of them is Frownies, and they've put together a product that's been around for like 100 years, a long time. Maybe this is new to you, but it's not new to the world. They're called facial patches, and they use just like a splint type holding of these craft papers that hold your fascia in place so that while you're sleeping, your muscles can be retrained. So it's amazing. Now, when you saw that before and after picture, that's a difference of 2 weeks of using these Frownies. Now, leading up to that, I was doing all the underground work with the collagen and the serum and all of that, but this definitely was the icing on the cake, using to smooth and soften those wrinkle and expression lines. So if I didn't have makeup on, I would show you this morning, but because in our full class we do, but they're just little craft papers that we're tearing up with a little natural plant-based adhesive on the back, and we're layering them in a like a little cast on the forehead. Interesting, right? If you need the full class on this, which you do, I have it recorded and we'll get it out to you and you can learn a little bit more. The last piece of this is gua sha. And so I leave it at the end because that was not part of my story with the before and after pictures. This is something I started implementing afterwards. And these two women on the screen are the real experts of this conversation. They're just not able to be here to explain it to you today. But I want you to look into gua sha because it is an amazing way to help increase circulation on the skin. You you probably know that I'm obsessed with the lymphatic system. Our lymphatic system is what moves toxins and fluid through our body. It increases when we're sick for the right reasons because it's moving all of that gunk out. If you have allergies, you're experiencing the lymphatic system trying to do its best work, but it doesn't move on its own. So that's why we're always encouraging you to drink water, to move your body, massage, all of those things move the lymphatic system. Well, so does gua sha. Gua sha is a beautiful little stone that's really common practice over in other areas of the world. So that's where the gua sha is from. But it's a stone like this. You can get them off of Amazon. doTERRA sold these for a little while. If you want to do me a big favor, you would send an email to doTERRA, products@doterra.com, and say, where's the cute little doTERRA gua sha? Please bring it back. We need it. This is crucial. And then I would love you forever because I think they need enough feedback to make that happen. But this is a specific motion that happens over the skin in very specific ways, which I can't go through today, but I can get you a link to the video of it, where you're actually moving that fluid, that fascia all along the skin in a very systematic way to help break up that stuck fascia. I want you to remember this. Wrinkles are just stuck fascia, and we can do a lot about it. It doesn't have to mean Botox, which actually is a toxin injected into the skin that can have 1 out of 6 people have complications from. That isn't your only option for natural aging. All of these pieces together can make a huge impact, and I hope that my story inspires you to really consider what nature has to offer to support our aging, make us feel good about our skin, but also respect the process, because we're all going to get older, we're all going to age. But what if we can do that in a way that we feel great about ourselves and the way that we're taking care of us? What do you think? Are you all, we need a big gua sha party some morning, don't you think? We all wake up together and do our gua sha together. We need to make that happen. So anyway, thanks for hearing from me. I'm going to toss it over now to 2 amazing women. One of them was actually pictured in my gua sha picture just in the last screen. Her name is Rebecca Hood, and she's a registered nurse. And man, this girl knows her stuff. Just had a beautiful little baby boy, and it's been so fun to watch her implement all of these natural things into his life. But Sandy Joyner, man, I wish she could just teach the whole thing because she has an amazing testimony of healing. I actually had her on a detox call. Maybe you've heard from her a couple years ago. She's not going to be able to share her full story, but they have so much to offer you and how to support your detox system to really lift a burden off of your body. And we do have a full sized class of this that we can get you the recording for, but they're going to give you the skinny. So I'll let you ladies take it away.
All right, good morning. So detox and drainage. You may need detoxing and not even realize it, right? Did you wake up with brain fog this morning? Are you a little foggy sitting watching this class this morning? Digestive issues, bloating, are you eliminating well? Are you going to the bathroom? Are you pooping? Are you peeing yellow? Are you taking vitamins that you're not absorbing well? White coating on your tongue. This is part of my story in the past when I was so sick with really bad stomach problems. I had actually a yeast infection in my throat. So how disgusting does that sound? So that's what that white coating on your tongue can be, is just complete overgrowth of bad bacteria in your gut. Belly fat in your midsection could be hormones need re-regulating, weight loss resistance, acne and skin rashes, right? Our skin is our largest organ of our body, so it makes sense that that's maybe one of the first places that you don't realize, though, but might be one of the first places that you're seeing signs that your body is toxic. Mood swings, body odor, abnormal body odor, like those super stinky teenage feet may be normal, right? But if you have body odor as an adult, that may be signs that you need more hydration, that you need something else going on. But actually sweating is one of our best ways to detox as well. Dark circles under your eyes, infertility. Rebecca's going to talk a little bit about this in a minute. Unexplained pain. Those are signs of inflammation, and inflammation can be the root of a lot of our diseases these days. Lack of energy, or your blood sugars being balanced. Unbalanced blood sugars can go back to that inflammation and be causing a lot of that pain. Lots of things here that can be signs that some of these things that you're coming up next that you need to start watching for, and Rebecca's going to take that part.
All right. Hi, everyone. My name's Rebecca. Like Melissa said, I'm a nurse, and I actually learned about doTERRA whenever I was seeing some major ways our healthcare system was missing it. So I am so grateful for doTERRA, and um, they care about this. Like when they come out with new products, they make sure they're using our pure essential oils, not fake fragrances or dyes or phthalates, all those things. So they are giving us something that our bodies are not going to have to detox. So looking at this chart, sources of toxicity, we have to talk about this. If our even if our bodies are functioning the best and we're just piling on these toxins and just keeps growing, they're not going to be able to keep up and they're going to have lots of stress. So we want to ease that load. And it can seem overwhelming, but it could be as simple as just when you use a product to switch to a new product. And that one switch every time, I that was my personal experience. And 4 years later, it's amazing to see how far I've come. So it is possible. And from my time in doTERRA, I've learned that genetics load the gun, but your lifestyle pulls the trigger. So there is definitely something that we can do with this. So take a screenshot, evaluate these things later, because there's kind of a lot. So that's the sources of toxicity.
So this statement here, detoxification is the process of toxins being pulled out of the tissue. Your body has a highly efficient detoxification system. That said, you can enhance your body's natural detoxification system by making sure that your drainage pathways are open. Your drainage pathways have to be open, and then you have to have fluids and things behind them, which we're going to talk about in a second. I don't know if you've ever seen the bucket analogy. So we start life with an empty bucket, right? As we get to midlife, our bucket's halfway full. As we get to my age in life, your bucket, if you haven't been actively and intentionally living your life, your bucket can be a lot fuller, which mine was, I don't know, 10 years ago, and it showed up in my life in a bad way. Another way to think about it, I heard Melissa say the other day, and I loved it. How many times have you said, whew, when I was younger, that wasn't so hard for me, or I could eat anything back then and it didn't take a toll on me? It's because as we're younger, our buckets aren't as full. So we need to start looking at our signs of toxicity, the ways that we are obtaining all of these toxins, and start looking at ways to get rid of them.
Okay, can y'all hear me okay? I think I saw someone say that they couldn't hear.
You're there.
Um, okay, cool. Okay, so when overwhelmed by toxins, the body can't properly function, like Sandy mentioned, with full efficiency, and that can be thyroid, immune system, and like Sandy alluded to, fertility. And that was my story. Before doTERRA, I didn't have a regular cycle; it was inexistent or amenorrhea. Doctors weren't trying to help my body heal, but rather they just told me to get on birth control and then just take a shot whenever I wanted to get pregnant. So I wanted my body to actually function optimally and be able to sustain a healthy pregnancy. So I tried doTERRA supplements and started decreasing my toxins, like I mentioned. And in the first full month of using the supplements, I actually had a full regular 28-day cycle, which had never happened before. So crazy, y'all. Like it actually does affect your body. And so then I started using the cleanse line, and it includes this product, Xendocrine Complex. And I was able to get pregnant and sustain a pregnancy all naturally with no shots. And so I'm just so grateful for doTERRA and their intentional products and ingredients that they put in the product. So this is just whole food extract supercharged of helping our detox organs be supported to be able to properly get rid of the things that our body doesn't need.
Yeah, so that's the way that you open up your pathways, right, for the toxins to drain out. Fluid, right? That's the thing that most of us think of, like that you need to drink more water. You need to drink more water. And yes, you do. But did you know that drinking just water alone isn't cutting it for most people? 70% of people are dehydrated. And as an emergency room nurse, we have been having this conversation recently that we are hardly, it's the oddity for us to see someone these days that has a normal sodium level. And it has been mind-blowing for us, and we cannot figure it out. And the first thing people say is, oh, so I need to drink some more Gatorade. And Gatorade comes with lots of nasties and colors and dyes and sugars, and you really don't want to do that. So doTERRA has, with our wonderful science department, developed the recharge system with the MetaPower, and it is phenomenal. It comes in lime and wild strawberry. Those camps are pretty split. I'm in the middle of the line, I think, on those. I'm doing drinking wild strawberry this morning. But the thing that makes this different, of course, there are none of the yucky stuff in there. There are no dyes or sugars or anything. It is science at its best, and it has a 1-to-3 sodium potassium ratio, and that is key to making everything work the way it needs to. And then this takes it even a little bit deeper. It has magnesium and calcium that work really well together, that actually get into our cells and do cellular hydration and help stimulate our mitochondrial, which is our energy factories of our body, right? So very, very effective, potent electrolyte system here that I have been loving. I've been taking it all summer, and my electrolyte levels were normal. We tested them at the work just to make sure that it wasn't our labs, or lab machines that were off a little bit, because sometimes those things have to be calibrated right. But a few of us went and tested ours. Some of them were off, but mine were normal. So a little testimony there to the MetaPower Recharge.
That's amazing, Sandy. I love that. So it's not a question if you feel like you need this. You definitely do. Everyone needs to support detox and drainage. But are you up for doing a challenge? It's going to be 21 days. If you want to start doing these things and developing these healthy habits with other people, it's going to start September 30th. And like I said, we just hit the highlights of this. So if you want more information on this topic and more information about the challenge, check out the recording of this class, and that'll give you all the information.
That was so great. Man, it's not every day that you get to hear from registered nurses, specific even to the emergency room. That was so intriguing, Sandy, to think about what you're seeing generally with people coming in, and that it could all come back to even hydration. I just think that's really phenomenal. So I so appreciate your guys' perspective. We're just going to keep the registered nurse love going. How about that? I have one of my close friends who's become a friend through doTERRA, but she's a registered nurse, and MSN. She is going to introduce us to oils specifically for pain. She's had some recent continuing education that has given her some new insight into this, and now is helping us apply doTERRA to these 3 areas: physical, digestive, and emotional. Are you with us, Brooke? I'll let you take it away.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect. Hello. Yes, so I'm very passionate about the topic of pain, because I actually suffer from chronic pain. And I used to be in the camp of being very skeptical of natural solutions, being trained, in the Western medical, situation or environment, forgive me, and didn't think natural solutions could help me. So who on the call has ever thought that, like, well, I don't know about that, right? So I was in that camp not too long ago, but when I wasn't getting the answers and I wasn't getting the help that I needed, that's what took me on this alternate path of asking more questions. And I'm so thankful I did. And then I was open to new things, right? And so if you're new to this, just being open that you're here is a great first step. So right, we have a lot of options that are more natural than medications, right? Chiropractic care, music therapy, prayer and meditation, strengthening, stretching, massage therapy. But we also have supplements and oils and things that come from the earth that God created that work really well with our body. When they're natural and they're unadulterated, we can impact this is an image on the right of the endocannabinoid system for all the nerds out there, if you want to look that up. But we can with some natural solutions impact the way that your body manages pain and inflammation, which Sandy mentioned, right? Inflammation is the cause of a lot of problems, but especially pain. And getting to the root cause of that and addressing the source of that will give you much better benefit, right? And an outcome versus a Band-Aid approach, right? So next slide, please. So let's talk about some solutions. And again, we have a full class on this. I was telling Melissa 10 minutes is just not enough. It's not enough because I have so much to share, but we have the full class recording. If you're like, I want to know a little bit more about pain and solutions for all these topics, please ask whoever invited you and we'll get you the link to that. Here's solutions that I use on a daily basis for my pain. So I have chronic joint pain. I was diagnosed in 2009. And Deep Blue, the whole line of Deep Blue on the right. So I keep that little stick here at my desk and in my purse. Imagine the sensation of an icy hot or a Tiger Balm. I'm sure you've used those. And they really just confuse your nerves right on the surface of the skin to help, calm down some pain or discomfort. But Deep Blue actually decreases inflammation on a cellular level. There can be healing. So it's more medicinal than just a surface, oh, that feels better. So amazing, amazing for working out, injuries, inflammation, muscle aches, joint pain. So one way to use oils is topically, right? So it comes in a rub like a lotion, and then the stick, and then of course the oil itself. And then Deep Blue polyphenol. So this is a supplement that I use instead of the over-the-counter medications that I used to pull if I had a headache or a muscle ache or anything like that, right? I would pull an ibuprofen or a Tylenol or an Aleve. And I want you to know that I am all about informed consent, and I'm not against using Western medicine or solutions when needed. But I want you to understand the risks of those. Pain is a public health crisis in the US, and 1 in 5 globally suffer from chronic pain. And so a lot of people are seeking solutions. But I'm an advocate, like I said, for informed decision making. And, you should know that Tylenol is one of the top causes of acute liver failure. And a lot of people think it's very low risk, right? We're very like, oh, we'll just take some extra. Like, oh, it says 2, but we'll just take 4. Like, it's just Tylenol. But Sandy, I'm sure, has seen in the ER where people have taken too much and the impacts on that. So we need to be very cautious. And it also decreases your glutathione. So look that up. It actually works against your immune system if you take that. So turmeric, right? We've heard of that. It's a very popular anti-inflammatory, but doTERRA took 4 years to develop this dual chamber capsule where there's the oil and the powder together to make it more powerful. And then copaiba, it is one of the most strongest anti-inflammatory substances. It comes from the bark of a tree in the Amazon. And this can help calm your central nervous system when we talk about maybe emotional support later, emotional pain, but also physical pain. So when I have, with my chronic pain, I address it both internally and externally. And these are just a powerhouse of options. Next slide, please. Here are some testimonials. The top one is from Linda. She has Parkinson's and she has a lot of pain and stiffness, right? So she takes copaiba soft gels with her pills. She has less stiff feeling in her trunk. She also has celiac, so she has digestive issues. So this will tee it up to the next couple of slides, but she carries it with her everywhere. She puts a drop on her thumb and pushes it to the roof of her mouth. And within minutes, she gets relief from any bloating, indigestion, cramping, things like that. She also has incorporated, I talked about addressing the root cause and addressing chronic things with internal and external support. She uses Lifelong Vitality, the copaiba soft gels, turmeric, digestin oil. She also uses turmeric oil on her knuckles for her arthritis. She has found that has really helped. Serenity soft gels to help her sleep, and the Deep Blue polyphenols for additional pain support if she is a little more active. Moving on to the digestive support, right? I had my gallbladder removed in 2009. And if anybody has had digestive trouble or something like that, you know that it comes with a lot of acute challenges immediately after surgery and ongoing, right? We removed an organ that we think, well, we just don't need it. Well, I believe that all of our organs were made for a purpose, and I'm sad that I gave it up. But anyways, here we are. I have digestive challenges, and I need some tools to help me sometimes, right? The Digest Zen oil is as powerful as Linda shared, right? You can take it internally in water or tea, or it comes in a really convenient soft gel. Some people like the smell of it and diffuse it, but you can, I have a neighbor that gets motion sick and she carries it in her car, and even her 7-year-old daughter uses it and asks for it if she gets motion sick. And then I have another customer that puts it in her belly button every day for her digestive trouble. She has trouble going to the bathroom with constipation, and that helps keep her bowels regular. So there's a little roller that, convenient roller, if you're not into DIY, that you can use. And then Digest tabs. If you are popping Tums like they're candy, this would be a natural solution without the flavorings or the colorings, or maybe the ingredients that we want to steer clear of. The Digest tabs are very helpful. If you have nausea like pregnancy, that would be a good option. Or this slide here with the ginger drops. I had a friend that was pregnant, and she's like, wow, that helped more than what I bought. I don't even know what she tried. And then if you're looking for more root cause, right, addressing maybe just more than just symptom management, talk to the person who invited you about that, the maybe detoxing, or we do a cleanse where we just kind of reset our body. Looking at your stomach is from a probiotic perspective. There's tons of commercials. We know how important that good bacteria are in your gut, but we have products that address not only your microbiome as your whole body in addition to your gut, right? So we've learned a lot about this in the last couple of years, and the medical team at doTERRA has done a phenomenal job addressing the microbiome in your mouth, in your private areas, in your eyes. Any area that touches the outside world has its own balance of good and bad bacteria everywhere. Our bodies have more germs than not, which is kind of weird, I know, but we need to keep them in balance, and we have tools to help you do that. And then TerraZyme helps you digest your food better if you're needing some more support there to well, I don't have time. I'm running out of time. I'm sorry. All right, next slide. You can skip. Okay, so let's talk about mood support. We want to share that if you are feeling like you need support from an emotional standpoint or mental health, we are very supportive of seeking help, and no judgment for seeking help. And we know that there are many tools, again, not just medicinal, but natural solutions, counseling, right? We want you to seek help, and there are tools to help support you through, whether it's a traumatic event, a life change, right? We all have different things. Life can be very stressful and overwhelming. If you're like, I don't even know where to begin, you could start by diffusing oils, or using them topically, like taking an oil. This is called Console. This is one of my favorite oils that I tried at convention last year. You can just put a little bit in your hand and take some deep breaths, get it into your lungs. And so you don't need, if you don't have a diffuser, that's fine. I just am using this aromatically without any fancy tools when I need it. If I have a mom moment, right, where I have a child that is, maybe pushing the boundaries. I don't know if your children do that, but my 5-year-old certainly does. Or my day job is very stressful. And sometimes we just need a moment, right, when we're just a little bit stressed. So I reach for balance. So on the bottom left corner, right, balance, think grounding, reassuring, consoling. Top left, if we're just like burnt out and we are just feeling frazzled, serenity is calming, composing, placating. Top right, citrus bliss is like flowers and a box of oranges and lemons together. So invigorating, stimulating, motivating. There's also citrus bloom if you like more floral option. And then no passion or stress in the bottom right. There's sunny citrus and endless summer, which are limited time options. We can provide a swap for you if you don't have those, but if you do, there's a way to use it, right? We want to encourage you to use those special blends, but we have other options as well. So just reach out to who invited you to help you choose what's best for you. We also have the adaptive line. I don't have enough time to go through it, but it helps with the, I'll say, brake system in your brain, having a ingredient called GABA that helps just kind of take it down a notch if you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed and anxiety, or maybe having trouble paying attention. There are some options here to help with those challenges. And then one last thing before I'm done, Symphony of the Cells. I don't have time to explain what it is, but it is an amazing resource for digestive health, emotional health, physical pain, lots of ailments. It's a protocol using oils and putting them on the body to support your whole nervous system. And so thank you, Melissa and Kristen, for allowing me to share this information with all of you today.
That was so good. It was so mean of us to give you a 2-hour class and then say 10 minutes, girl, get it. But the whole point is we're just covering the skim of the surface, right? There is so much more. Like, she would love to give you a little bit more of her nurse perspective, why actually are natural solutions more effective than what the modern day approach is. And so if you need that full recording, please reach out. We have that available to you. This is one that I know a lot of you have been waiting for, because this is not a topic that we touch very often. Kristen has a really unique perspective in the way that she's approaching oral health care in her family, and so much. She is an Instagram researcher guru. And so when she sees something there, she's able to dig super, super deep. And so she's doing all that for you and is just going to give you the skim of the surface on what she's been learning about bacteria in the mouth and how that's affecting cavities, your gut microbiome, and ultimately systemic diseases. So Chris, 10 minutes, here we go. Oh, you're muted.
Yeah, here we go. So did you guys know that every time you swallow, you are literally seeding your GI tract with bacteria, fungi, viruses, everything that's in your mouth? It's going right down into your gut. And this doctor had done some research and found that essentially 140 billion of all this stuff in our mouth as CFUs end up in our GI tract. And so similar to how a probiotic can be so beneficial for your GI tract, it's also really important to think about the biome of what's going on in our mouth. And I just want to talk about how, well, I'm going to try to keep it concise, but go ahead to the next one, Melissa. We're going to talk about all the ways this intertwines. First of all, I want you guys to just like focus in on this graphic here, because I think some of you might be surprised that one of the most important ways we can establish a good microbiome in our mouth is actually by making sure we're breathing through our nose instead of breathing through our mouth. So one just quick self-assessment that I want you guys to do right now is, first of all, notice how you're breathing right now and think about, realize where your tongue is. Is your tongue currently resting on the top of the roof of your mouth, like right close behind your teeth? If so, that's actually like a really great sign. And the second step is to pay attention to what you're doing at night. Does your tongue stay up there? And are you still breathing through your nose at night? Because a lot of people actually struggle to breathe through their nose at night. And I'm going to talk about that. You'll even notice, I'm like, now when I walk on the street, I notice people that are breathing through their mouth. The same way as I notice things about their spine because of my history in chiropractic. But mouth breathers tend to have like dark circles under their eyes because they're not getting good quality sleep at night. They're getting restless sleep. A lot of times they're snoring. A lot of times you'll also notice from the side, instead of their jaw protruding or like being directly like it's all straight across here, you'll see that their chin is kind of set back a little bit. It's like almost like the lower jaw is not as fully developed, and that's because they've been breathing through their mouth for the majority of their life. And as children, especially if you're not breathing through your nose, what happens is because your tongue isn't pushing to the roof of your mouth, there's nothing that's expanding this upper palate. Your tongue actually puts pressure there and expands your palate and also expands this lower part of your nose. So there's a larger air cavity here for you to breathe through. For example, a lot of you know that my husband has a history with autoimmunity, and I kind of pick on him sometimes. I'm not meaning to pick on him. I love him so much, but I feel bad for him because I think he's been a mouth breather most of his life. You'll notice he has a skinny face and a skinny nose, and it's because his tongue wasn't resting on the top of his mouth, and that really affects things. And so I'm going to talk about some of my experiences with my son in a second here, but ultimately what you need to know is mouth breathing causes a lot of problems, and so when you're mouth breathing, it dries your saliva out. A lot of people will get cotton mouth when they're mouth breathing, and that alters the pH of your mouth, which can lead to bad bacteria growing in your mouth. And that bad bacteria, not only will it cause cavities, but also it's going to affect the rest of your immune system as well, because you're swallowing that bad bacteria. So your nose, on the other hand, it will filter things out as you're breathing through it. And it actually helps to oxygenate the air you're breathing in better. When you're mouth breathing, you're more likely also to like clench your jaw. So people that are mouth breathers oftentimes will be grinding their teeth or clenching their jaw. And this puts you into fight or flight at night. So that's why you don't get as good a sleep, because your body's just like on a higher level of alert. When you breathe through your nose, your body actually rests. And that's part of why when you take deep breaths through your nose, your body will calm down. So anyways, we can go to the next one. The second thing that's really important when it comes to balancing the biome of our mouth is, of course, a nutrient-dense diet. And we're not going to talk all about this, but of course, we're going to limit processed foods, and that will help the biome of our mouth. We're going to limit loads of refined sugar and refined oils. All of those things really impact your mouth. And then you want to include foods that are high in fat-soluble vitamins, especially like grass-fed meats and even like organ meats, like liver, heart, all that kind of stuff. It's actually really, really, really good for the nutrient levels that you can find in it. Go to the next one, Mel. And then, of course, we want to brush our teeth twice a day. We all know this is really important for our oral health, and hydroxyapatite toothpaste is specifically what they're finding in research so valuable for remineralizing the teeth and also helping with the biome in our mouth. So yeah, next slide. So how this journey all really started for me is because my oldest, Elliot, when he was 4 and our second son was born, we actually found black mold in his closet. And at that time, he had been having night terrors in the night, and I didn't know what was going on. We're like, what's waking him up? We tried so many oils, and honestly, some of them did help at times, but it wasn't anything that brought consistent results. And I just had this, like, we removed him from the room right away when we found the black mold in his closet. But I remember thinking, I think this has to be correlated somehow. How could black mold cause night terrors? Like, I know it's bad for him, but what's happening here? And looking back, now I realize that at that point, my son started breathing out of his mouth because he was congested and his sinuses were irritated. And so you can see here on this picture, he started to develop issues with his jaw development, and especially like his jaw, it stopped growing as big as it should, because again, his tongue wasn't pressing to the roof of his mouth. And so this lower part of his jaw especially is more narrow. And as his adult teeth came in, there wasn't enough space for them. And so you can see here, this is January of 2024. We actually implemented using something called a tooth pillow, and he wears that at night, and it actually helps him to nose breathe. I'll talk about what we've done so it clears his sinuses really well. But he no longer has issues like he did before. In fact, when he breathes through his nose, he never has a bad nightmare. When he breathes through his mouth, if he's congested, he'll be coming up to our room and he'll be saying, I had a bad dream, and he can't sleep and all this kind of stuff. And you can see this progression too in his teeth and how they've changed, because kids, especially before the age of 12, their jaws are still expanding and growing. So there's actually a lot of room to actually help them potentially not even need braces. And braces really are just in a form symptom management, because I've had braces, I'll tell you. And if I don't wear my retainer, my teeth shift right back where where they were before. And that's because my jaw was never expanded. It was just my teeth being moved by the braces. Not to say like I'm thankful I had braces, whatever, but what they're finding in the most recent research is that we can actually be proactive from the front end with kids, and we can expand their jaws through using appliances like this, or also myofascial exercises. There's a lot to it, and if you want to learn more specifically about this, connect with me on Instagram or Facebook or whatever, and I'd love to share more, because you can get a specific coupon code and discount if you have a kid that's interested, or just if you want to ask me questions. I'm happy to talk about it anytime. Yeah. And sorry, the last thing I'll say about that is when kids are nose breathing, they will have some pretty clear signs like night terrors, they'll be bedwetters, they'll have issues with ADHD, like all these different things like enlarged adenoids, asthma, restless sleep, snoring, sleepwalking, smaller jaws, smaller airways, all that kind of stuff. So if you have a child struggling with that, it's something to consider. So some of the things that we can do, I'm going to try to go through this fast, is one, nasal rinsing before bed. And this is actually the thing that we've done with Elliot that has made the biggest difference. He hates it, but it's really helping. We got this little bottle that you can see over here, and we fill it with some salt basically, and warm water, not hot water, warm water. And you can just kind of squirt it through, and it really helps him to get rid of the congestion that's in there. And kids especially, sometimes they're just not really great at doing that on their own. This is also a great little sinus spray that you can do just daily. And I've actually heard some biological dentists say that nasal rinsing or cleaning your nasal passages before bed is actually more important than brushing your teeth, because of how it helps you to breathe through your nose while you're sleeping. And you can also add oils when you do like a neti pot or nasal rinsing. I do recommend, if you're new to oils, don't make this your first thing that you try, or like, talk to the person you enrolled with, and they can kind of guide you in this process. But oils like frankincense can actually really decrease inflammation in those cavities as well. Or you can even just apply it diluted topically over the sinus cavities as well. And we've done that for seasons with Elliot too. Next slide, Mel. Number two, oil pulling is amazing. Oil pulling is when you actually take a carrier oil like coconut oil and you swish it around in your mouth. And because coconut oil is antimicrobial, it will help to remove the bacteria that's in your mouth, and it promotes healthy oral hygiene. And it's also really great for teeth whitening, receding gums, bad bacteria. I have a friend, she's a customer in our community, Joyce, who she did this consistently for 6 months, and she did it with On Guard and maybe frankincense. I can't remember, but she actually had like massive amounts of receding gums, and they all grew back, which dentists say is impossible. So swishing for 15 minutes right when you wake is the best way to do it. And then you spit it in the trash, not in the sink, because it will obviously like gunk up your your pipes. And then obviously you can include different oils in this, like copaiba and On Guard and frankincense. Myrrh is another good one. But this is a really great practice. Third, tongue scraping is something where you take this little metal tool, and some of you guys might have gotten one of these from doTERRA a while ago in a wellness kit, but you can also get these on Amazon. This is one of my favorite things, because if I don't have time to coconut oil pull, which is often, if I'm fully honest, I will take my little tongue scraper, and I've been doing this for like, I don't know, 6-7 years now. I scrape my tongue, and honestly, it's like you cleaned that really dirty surface where all the dust is, it's just so like, oh, that's great. I cleaned it really good. That's what you do to your tongue, only then you can taste things better and your mouth feels cleaner, and it's just so good. So anyways, that removes the buildup of toxins and bad bacteria that are resting on your tongue after sleeping. And so anyways, I'm a big proponent of tongue scraping. We can go to the next slide. So a lot of you guys are familiar with these products already. Are you a team On Guard or Supermint? What's your favorite? I feel like I like both. But anyways, this is such an incredible toothpaste. It's gotten so many good reviews. Honestly, I did a whole call with a biological dentist, and she talked about how she loves doTERRA's toothpaste with the hydroxyapatite and the essential oils in it. And then also doTERRA's mouthwash. First of all, fun fact, the On Guard mouthwash is alcohol free, which is really important. Alcohol actually kills too much of the good bacteria. That's why you don't want to use an alcohol based mouthwash. But also I will say that doTERRA's mouthwash, I don't personally use it every day, and I actually don't recommend that. It's best to use it like if you would have a sore throat or like you're feeling sick or something like that. You can use it here and there, but again, it's like we want to promote like good bacteria in our mouth. And the great thing about On Guard is it targets bad bacteria. It's not targeting the good, but it's just not something that I think is necessary for everyday use. You can also do your own DIY with sea salt and On Guard and peppermint. This is actually a recipe from my biological dentist as well. But these are such a great toolkit of things to use to clean your mouth. And I hope you learn some other helpful tools that maybe you can experiment with, like tongue scraping and things like that, and just making sure you're breathing through that nose.
I mean, we all thought we were having our tongue on the roof of our mouth. So you said something that we're all like pulling it up for that. Wait, what? What?
Me too, me too.
It's been a really important conversation for my husband. And so Chris, I've learned a lot from Kristen over this last a couple of years, and the way that his health is improved as we've improved his airway structure has allowed him then to close his mouth while he sleeps at night. And it's affected emotional concerns, cardiovascular concerns, stress, anxiety. It's unbelievable when you start addressing the biome of the mouth, how it can impact the whole body.
Absolutely.
So thank you for that conversation. We got to keep moving. We are a little bit behind. So if you're jumping in thinking we're in a different topic, I apologize. I'm sure Laura's going to get us there, right? She is an amazing teacher living this with her family of 5 with a current little foster baby and all of the things. So I can't wait for you to hear from her on her journey of learning about sleep solutions and how she's implementing these things. So Laura, I'll let you have it.
Guys, I'm so excited to talk about this topic. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. I work in a daycare. I have lots of littles and parents trying to get them to sleep. And did you know that 46% of children are on melatonin? That is just mind-blowing to me. Poison control calls have increased by 530% because of parents giving children over the counter melatonin. Melatonin is actually a hormone, and we don't want to be giving our bodies hormones. We want our bodies to naturally produce these hormones. So I just want you to think about your sleep, and on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your sleep? Are you irritable and fatigued during the day? Do you have difficulty remembering things? Decreased sex drive? Like, there's so many problems that can be contributed to sleeping. Go to the next slide. So our brain and our sleep actually manage so many different parts of our body. So our systematic nervous system, or our sympathetic nervous system. So your fight and flight mode is managed by your sleep. Are you able to actually calm your body and relax during the night so that you can lower your blood pressure so that you can manage things during the day? Hormones like melatonin, your growth hormones, all of that is managed by your sleep. Your body uses that time as a time to detox. It lowers your cortisol levels. It increases your immune system. It's really that time of recovering. It's a time when your body can really calm itself on a cellular level beyond just the brain and actually heal. So we need sleep. And actually, they say studies have shown that children specifically need that sleep for their brains to grow and develop. So many parents are like, oh, let's cut nap time. That'll help their sleep at night. It's not true. Like, sleep actually begets sleep. So if your children are on a good sleep cycle, or if you're on a good sleep cycle and you're getting enough sleep, your body's actually going to crave it because it knows that it's time to heal and it's time to really reset. So we really want to take good care of our sleep, and this is a way to do it. So first up, the Serenity Soft Gels. Can you go back one, Melissa? The Serenity Soft Gels are they were recently reformulated, and this restful complex has things like tart cherry in it, which is a component that actually helps your body to produce more melatonin within it. It also has things like L-theanine, and the L-theanine is one that we talk about in this study here, that it really is comparable to taking a pharmaceutical sleep aid. So doTERRA put together this updated sleep solution system. It's actually 3 parts, and it is entirely designed to help you sleep better. And it is the only system on the market today that can clinically state, according to the FDA, that it increases sleep. So we really want to be mindful of that. There's so many natural sleep aids out there, but we want to make sure that they're also effective. Otherwise, they're just a waste of money. They're just a placebo. This is not a placebo. It actually works. The Serenity soft gels, one thing to note on them is that when doTERRA did their clinical trial, they actually studied people that did not sleep well, as well as people that already slept well. And even those that already claimed to sleep well were able to get into a deeper state of REM sleep and allow their body to heal better by taking them. So even though I arguably can fall asleep within 10 minutes and stay asleep most of the night, sleep better when I take a Serenity soft gel at night. I also will use them in times of stress when I know that my sleep is going to be disrupted, or when I'm traveling. Those are all key times that I make sure that I'm taking them. My children take them when they travel, and they take them during any stressful time, because it is hard to be a high schooler today and to be taking final tests and be planning for college and all the stress that goes along with those. So when they're in those times of stress is when they really reach for them. But they're safe enough to take every day if you need to. The Serenity Sleep Stick. So this is my jam for toddlers especially, but I also love the smell of it so much that I'll use it for myself nightly. The valerian root in here, research has shown that it increases your GABA in the brain. Earlier, Brooke talked about the GABA in the brain and how powerful it is. And we're going to talk about it again at the end when we recap those adaptive soft gels as well. But this is just heavenly. I love to diffuse Serenity, which we'll talk about next, but this smells even better than Serenity because of that valerian root in there. It really grounds the floral smell, and it just gives you a deeper, richer smell that puts me to sleep nearly instantly. I am obsessed. It's one of the tips that I use is really to set up a pattern for yourself. So I have my Serenity soft gels on my nightstand. I have my Serenity stick on my nightstand. I also have one in our nap room for daycare. And I give each kid a swipe of Serenity on the palm of their hand at nap time so they can go to sleep smelling that as well. Really powerful. Okay, Serenity oil. Did you know that diffusing essential oils while you sleep actually increases your cognitive ability when you're awake? It's mind-blowing research. It just came out. Statistically significant 220%, 26% improvement was observed by just simply diffusing oils at night. So one of the ways that we talk about essential oils with this system is that the soft gels really helps you to stay asleep longer, but diffusing or inhaling essential oils helps you to fall asleep faster. So that lavender, cedarwood, coriander, ylang ylang, marjoram, Roman chamomile, those are all going to help you to fall asleep quickly and calm your brain. That vetiver really helps to calm the nervous system so that your body can fully shut off, so that you can get into that full deep sleep state. You go to the next slide, we'll go through the exact system. So my recommendation is to take one soft gel about 30 minutes before bed. Do this for about 3 nights and see if you see an increase in your sleep. I love using a watch. Not everybody does, but it's a great way to track your sleep. Melissa mentioned that I do foster care. When the new soft gels came out, we actually had an infant at the time, and yet my sleep was rated at 100%. Because even though it was disrupted during the night, I was able to get back to sleep quickly and still get my full 8 hours solidly by using the Serenity soft gels specifically, but the whole system. The valerian sleep stick, as soon as you climb into bed, apply it, drubbing it into wherever you're going to be breathing in. So whether it be your chest and your shoulders, maybe your wrists or your palms, like I do the little ones, and take a big deep breath before you go to sleep. And then the Serenity, either apply it to the bottom of your feet or your temples, or diffuse 3 to 4 drops on your bedside. I actually recommend, in addition to the Serenity, to mix it up a little bit. There are so many calming oils in our repertoire that you can mix it up and find one that you love, but alternate those to keep your brain active and taking in new oils each night when you sleep. So if you get a few, keep them on the bedside table and you can pick and choose each night. Am I looking for more serenity, or do I want to go with vetiver, or do I want to go with frankincense and bergamot tonight? Something like that can really help you to have fun with your oils and customize it to your liking. Okay, if all of those aren't working enough, then you want to reach for that emotional support. Like Brooke was talking about earlier, copaiba soft gels can really help to soothe those anxious feelings and promote homeostasis when we rest. Copaiba is actually a type of cannabinoids. You guys have heard about CBD, THC, and then beta-caryophyllene, BCP. The copaiba soft gels are actually that BCP. They are cheaper, pure, legal, no bad side effects. They actually have so many good side effects. They're antioxidants, cardio support, health, healthy gut, skin, detoxifying for your organs, specifically your liver. Guys, we hear so much these days about like fatty liver system or liver toxicity. Copaiba is really key for that. Relieves aches and pains so you can sleep deeper, and it promotes that neurological relaxation, which is what we need. So overall, just really, really great to take before bed. The adaptive soft gels are another one that we can reach for either at night before bed or right away in the morning. The adaptive soft gels are a neurotransmitters. We have 3 different types of neurotransmitters: the GABA, serotonin, and dopamine. GABA is your adaptable neurotransmitter. It helps your body to be more adaptable during the day. Serotonin is your calming one, and that is what's produced when you're sleeping. But you need to get good sleep in order to produce the dopamine, that happy chemical that you need during the day. So my recommendation is set a good pattern, get that quality sleep at night, get some good sun in the morning so that you are getting that good restful sleep at night and you can wake up refreshed and ready to tackle everything that's coming your way, because you never know what that day is going to hold. Melissa, anything else? Went as fast as possible.
I love it so much. And I think your perspective is so valuable. I mean, if we can't learn from a mama with 2 kids, a foster baby, and 10 littles running around 5 days a week all through your home, then there's no one better to learn from. So anyway, I really appreciate your perspective. That system, we've actually done some sleep studies within our essential oil community, and the results are stunning when people are applying it just how you recommended. So really appreciate that. We're going to kind of continue on this train. We talked a lot about children and sleep. Man, that's one of the biggest factors for a lot of us of why we've struggled through seasons of our life with sleeping. But there are a lot of other things that we want to talk about in the realm of kids. And so, well, who better than a mama of 2 cute little babies to chat more through some of our natural solutions for kids. So, Courtney, I'm going to let you take it.
Awesome. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. So as we talk about oils for kiddos, we want to talk about safety because we all love our kiddos and we want to know that the products that we are using with our kids are safe. So that's where purity comes in, and purity matters. We could have a whole talk on this, but rest assured, I want you to know that doTERRA has the highest quality essential oils on the planet, and you can trust these oils with your kiddos. So when using oils for kiddos, you want to dilute properly. And so dilution is huge. We have this nice little dilution chart here. If you don't have this chart, take a screenshot or reach out to whoever invited you and get this chart, as it is going to help you use your oils confidently. Then we also want to just mention sensitive areas. So typically just use common sense. We kind of know what those sensitive areas are, but basically you don't want to apply oils to the eyes, inside the ears, inside the nose, things like that. And then some other areas that might be sensitive are like the bottoms, the chest, and also the face. And so just use caution and proper dilution when applying to those areas. Sometimes we need to apply to those areas to address concerns. So like, don't be afraid to, you are empowered, but just use proper dilution with that. And then consistency is key. We want to use our oils consistently and reapply for utmost effectiveness. So every 3 to 4 hours is kind of what we recommend. So we are going to dive into some of the biggest issues that we as mamas face. Teething is one of them, especially for those of us with littles. My top recommendation is just applying Copaiba essential oil directly to the gums and just massaging it into the gums. I like to just put my finger on the top of the bottle and like tip it and then massage into those gums. You can also make a roller ball with a few different oils that you can just rub along the jawline and to those areas of concern. So that can be as simple as 2 to 5 drops of Siberian fir, lavender, and Roman chamomile. If you don't have Roman chamomile, you can substitute frankincense in for that instead. For dry skin, you can solve most dry skin issues by applying a drop of lavender and Roman chamomile to an unscented lotion to that area of concern. And then if you are experiencing more persistent skin issues, we recommend that you add Terrazyme into like applesauce if they're not old enough to swallow that capsule. And that is actually going to help heal the skin from the inside out, as a lot of skin issues stem from the gut. And then comfrey salve is also awesome to address any concerns. Going on to rashes, lavender, tea tree, frankincense, and Roman chamomile are going to be your go-tos. We actually have an all things skin spray with lavender, tea tree, and frankincense. That is great to use. And comfrey salve added into the mix. That's usually going to help you take care of any of those sorts of issues. Moving on to wounds. As a mom of 2 little boys, we deal with this a lot. So helichrysum and frankincense and Correctex are our best friends. They go with us everywhere. Helichrysum is a great oil to have on hand. It's a little spendier, but is worth every penny because you guys, this oil helps actually clot the blood, which is huge for injuries. And frankincense and helichrysum rollers are so easy to use and they don't sting. Correctex, though, is awesome because it does not have petroleum in it like Neosporin and other similar products on the market. And is going to help prevent infection. It's going to cleanse that area and is really effective for any sort of injury. I have to share a little testimony with wounds, though, you guys. With my 2 little boys, they often are like wild and reckless and hit their heads. And they get these like massive welts and bruises on their head. And I cannot tell you enough. I wish I had before and after pictures on the slide for you. I don't have any. But they get these like massive welts, and frankincense and helichrysum just rolled onto that area will literally make it look like it has healed for like days in a matter of their 3-hour nap. So I cannot tell you enough to get those things in your home. Moving on to digestive issues, though, we have some really great options here: Tamer, Digesen, PB Assist Plus, Fiber, and Terrazyme. So basically any sort of digestive issue that's like shows up occasionally, you want to reach for Tamer if you have really littles, or Digesen for your olders. Really great products that are going to address whatever issues you are facing, especially if you're dealing with some sort of tummy bug. Digesen is kind of formulated more so for adults, but is safe for kids. And it is really great for mamas with kiddos dealing with like more chronic issues, especially related to constipation. So give those a try. And then also PB Assist Plus. We're talking about like healing from the inside out. That is our probiotic fiber. It is going to help create a healthy microbiome so your child can thrive in all the ways. So our fiber, doTERRA fiber, has insoluble and soluble fiber plus vitamin C and lemon essential oil. And it is just going to be a really great supplement to reach for as needed or daily if that matches your situation. But often we need fiber in our diets and we're not really getting it. So keep that in mind. And then another supplement I would highly encourage you to consider is Terrazyme. That's a digestive enzyme that is really just going to support your child's gut and digestive system in doing what God created it to do. That can be taken in a capsule for olders, or again, mix it in applesauce for your littles. Tantrums. Okay, I have a 2.5-year-old and a 19-month-old, and tantrums are real, you guys. So these are great oils that we would recommend for tantrums: Aroma Touch, Calmer, Balance, Citrus Bliss, and Adaptive. And you might be wondering, like, okay, great, how do I use these? Well, I'm telling you that each child and situation is going to be different, so keep that in mind, but take away a couple of these ideas that I'm going to share and do what works best for you and your child. So first of all, I recommend if your child struggles during certain times of the day, then be proactive and try to give them choices during that time of the day. Make it choices that you are okay with, both of them. choices you're okay with. And then try to apply oils in the diffuser before that time of day, or if you need to, like during that time of day. That's going to help create a soothing environment. And then also you can really empower your children by giving them an opportunity to smell the different oils and choose an oil that really like works for them, and then teach them how to use that oil. You can create a roller bottle of it. You can give it a fun name like Creating Calm. And then you can teach them that when they're upset or when they're dealing with big emotions or anxiety, that they can just roll that onto the palms of their hands and practice taking deep breaths, and then give them like an affirmation to help them like work through mental blocks there. Like, I'm going to get through this, or I'm going to be okay, or I am safe. That's really empowering for them. And then you as a mom are giving them control, and you're giving them skills and tools to manage those big emotions. Another thing I'd recommend for like littles who may not be able to do that, create a roller bottle in advance, and then you can apply that kind of when you see them starting to get worked up over something. If your child loves touch, like give them a massage with that oil, and you will be amazed at how that can just help them find their calm. But basically, the more consistently you are using your oils in these big emotion situations, the more your child is going to realize that it actually helps, and the more effective it will be. So involve them in the process. Moving on to sleep. So Laura just did a great job talking about this. She mentioned a lot of these things, but basically I love using Calmer and the Serenity Sleep Stick on the bottoms of the feet. That is just our bedtime routine. I also recommend diffusing oils as part of your bedtime routine. Kids really pick up on that, and it just helps set the tone for them, like, okay, yes, and now it's time for sleep. So I usually diffuse oils right as we're kind of beginning our bedtime routine. Serenity is a great option. However, there are lots of other great options out there. Then if you have like older kids, 6 years plus, you might consider giving them Serenity soft gels to just help them with sleep, especially if they're dealing with anxiety. That is going to be a really great tool for you. And then omega fatty acids are a really great thing to consider. Even for littles, we have this in liquid form because that is going to help support balanced blood sugars throughout the night, which is often a key reason why they aren't getting that really good quality sleep. Fevers. Okay, we all struggle with what to do with our kids when they experience fevers. One thing I want you to remember, Mom, is that fevers are actually a really important part of our body's immune system response. It's not something we need to fret about or fear. It's actually a really good sign that our body is doing what God created it to do, to heal. So we want to support that healing. And one of the best ways we can do that is our basic protocol. So it is 4 oils. You can put them in roller bottles, pre-make them. So it's just really easy to do. And that's frankincense, tea tree, aroma touch, and peppermint. And just apply those, again, ideally in like roller bottles. You don't even have to think about it. So the spine and the bottom of the feet. And you can do that every 3 to 4 hours. And you will be amazed at what that is going to do for your little. Then we want to talk about back to school. It is that time of year, and we want to support our kids with focus, immune support, and dealing with any sort of things for our olders that come with that age. So for focus, help your kid find an oil they love. These are our top recommendations. There's no right or wrong here. Just whichever one you have or that your kid really gravitates toward. You can teach them to apply this to their temples or to their wrists and even their hands, and just to take those deep breaths to help them calm down, stay grounded, and to be able to focus. Then immune support is huge. So we have some great oils you can apply to the bottoms of their feet daily. Again, you can pre-make rollers of these, and that is going to be great to just support them with daily immune system support, or you can use it as needed, whatever you're comfortable with. And then for those with older kids, that's not me, but I worked with junior high and high school students. So this is a thing. Teen acne, hormones, they deal with it, and we want to help them feel supported and empowered. So we have an HD clear line that's just pre-made, easy to use, ready to go. Or we have this amazing DIY face wash. The recipe is on the screen. Take a screenshot of that. Really great for supporting your teens with acne. And then hormones, Clary Calm, I cannot recommend enough. Easy roll on, easy go to. And then lifestyle tips, just remember to watch out for synthetic ingredients. They're hidden in feminine care products, beauty care products. Like, be mindful about what you're applying in and on the body. And then try to eliminate products that have those xenoestrogens that are going to disrupt your hormones. So hope this was helpful.
So good, man. We made you cruise through that, but you did amazing. It's really fun to learn from a mom in the trenches of raising kids because yeah, it's like you kind of feel alone in a lot of those things, especially when you're trying to navigate it naturally. Man, it's like it feels like everyone just does this over here. And so I hope that all 45 of you that were on to hear that live, and many, many more that will watch that recording, just know like we're all in this together as mamas. And I can't think of a reason that I wouldn't start with essential oils first for anything under the sun that comes up. I have 3 kiddos. Courtney has 2. I mean, if we totaled up all the kiddos that are counted for in this call that are using essential oils and supplements and natural remedies first, and being able to avoid in most cases clinic visits and medications, it would be, what we're doing right now, Court, is we're creating this massive research study, watching our kids grow up with natural solutions. And in 20 years, I can't wait to see what the results are of what our children have done collectively growing up with these resources, because we didn't have access to them as kids, and I was sicker than most. And so anyway, just so excited that you were able to share that with us. I got to keep going. We're going to move into some fur baby land. So if you've got babies that have gone out of the nest, or maybe that was never a part of your story, and or maybe you just have always loved the fur baby life, then I can't think of anyone better than Donahue to talk this conversation. When someone is messaging you pictures of a cat that she's rescuing from her yard and like healing with essential oils, showing you the before and afters, I'm like, she's the girl for you for oils for pets, and she's got amazing ideas for you. So take a lot of screenshots. We'll let her get started.
Thanks, Melissa. Yes, I love fur babies. Specifically, I have cats. I've treated 3 cats with essential oils. And so we are going to talk a little bit about that today. I feel like there's a lot of myths surrounding essential oils and pets. And so hopefully we'll address some of those issues. But the top oils that we would recommend for dogs are lavender, copaiba, frankincense, peppermint, our TerraShield blend, outdoor blend, and geranium. And then for cats, we would recommend lavender, frankincense, purify, cardamom, Roman chamomile, and I would even add copaiba over to the cat line as well. As Melissa stated, I have treated some of my furry friends with essential oils, and my cat Lucy last year had a large sore on the bottom of her lip. Cats get chin acne, and it was inflamed and swollen, and so I used lavender and copaiba for 2 weeks treating her with that, and no vet bills, and she is totally fine now. The sore is gone and has not returned. So I have lots of stories that I could tell you about pets and oils, but we are moving on here. As far as using essential oils aromatically and topically for our furry friends, humans have about 6 million scent receptacles or olfactory receptacles in our nose, and dogs have up to 300 million, cats have up to 200 million. So if you can imagine, if you took 1 drop of our pure peppermint oil, if any of you have ever done that, and rubbed it in the palm of your hands, cupped it over your nose, and took a deep breath, you can feel the potency of our oils, right? So imagine if we do that to a dog or a cat, we do that and we put it right up to their nose. Probably their instinct is going to be like this, because their scents are so much more acute than ours are. So it doesn't necessarily mean they don't like the oil. It just means that it's really overpowering and too much for them. So a better thing would be to hold it farther away from their nose and let them come to you. They will definitely tell you if they like the oil or not, but just don't probably put it right up to their nose, because their first instinct is definitely going to be to pull away, whether they like the oil or not. It's just because their scents are so overwhelmed with the oil. Diffusion is a major part of using essential oils around our pets. I have, like I said, 3 cats. I've been diffusing oils for 6 years. The only oil I avoid diffusing is tea tree. And then the main thing that you want to do is just make sure they have a way to leave the room, to go in and out. But otherwise, I've diffused in most every room of my house and haven't had an issue with any pet problems or reactions with diffusing oil. Massage is another way we can do that. And what you'll want to do is you'll want to dilute the oil and rub it in the palms of your hands. And then we use a a thing called ear tipping, and that just means you put it on the tips of their ears. Dogs or cats, you can put it on the tips of their ears. You can also rub it down their spine. And for dogs specifically, you can rub it between the paw pads on the back of their paws. Um, and for cats, what I like to do also is rub it if they have digestive issues or whatever. Dogs too, you can rub it right on their tummies. It's totally fine with that as long as it is diluted. Internal use with animals. So dogs are a little bit more easier for internal use than cats, just because typically a lot of dogs have a larger system. Um, and cats are so much smaller. But one thing we can do with dogs is we can add 1 or 2 drops of essential oils in a veggie capsule, and then we fill the rest with a carrier oil, and we can just pop that in the back of their mouth, and dogs will typically swallow it down. Cats, not so much. Cat owners will know they're a little bit more finicky, a little bit more harder to treat. And so dogs, you can just pop that back, but cats, we really don't have to do anything internally, because if we put it on their skin anywhere, like on their paws, even their ears, anything like that, they will take that oil internally with their grooming practices, because they like to clean themselves a lot. And so that's how they will get the oils internally. A few products to consider adding to your collection are turmeric dual capsules. So dogs can take those just as is, 1 or 2 capsules a day. And again, pop it in the back of their throat. Supports joint system pain and inflammation. So really helpful, especially for elderly dogs that way. A lot of them have hip pain and things like that. So this would be a great option for them. Cedarwood oil mixed with baking soda, and we can sprinkle that over our litter box. I do this, and literally you can make this product for pennies. And it helps with the smells of the litter box, the odors, and things like that. Balance is a great option to diffuse for cats for calming. It's good for dogs too. Cats specifically for calming or easing anxiety. And then dogs can use our Serenity oil through diffusion. And that also helps just calm them, give them hopefully an anxiety free environment to be able to play in, sleep in, relax in. Purify oil is a blend that I have a testimony for that one. One of my friends had an elderly cat and was urinating outside of the litter box. And we all know that smell you cannot get out no matter what you do. And actually, she used our Purify oil, and she reported back to me that that is the only thing that got the smell of the urine out of her carpet is our Purify oil. So that oil is a great option for pet stains, pet odors, anything like that. You'll probably want to take a screenshot of a few of our recipes that we like to make for our fur babies. For cats, we have a calming spray. The Litter Box Fresh that I had mentioned works really well. Skin support, scratch deterrent, and outdoor pest collar. And then for dogs, we have a DIY shampoo, a road trip roller, calming spray, toothpaste, pest collar, joint support, and hot spot spray. So a lot of pet owners, if you go and buy these products at the store, they can be really costly. And so if you want to do some DIYs with the oils that you have, it can save you a lot of money. Like that litter box fresher literally costs pennies to make. So it's a really good option there. These minty dog treats, I don't have a dog, but I have made these treats many times for vendor fairs or for classes that I've had. And the dog mamas have reported back to me that their dogs love them. And so fall is coming. So when it gets a little cool outside and you want to turn that oven on, whip this recipe up, and I'm sure your dog pup is going to love it.
I can vouch that this actually, I mean, you can see the ingredients. It's very human friendly, of course. My daughter she'd probably die now that I'm telling this story continually, but she like loves these little things. We don't have dogs either, but we've made them for friends and little giveaway gifts and whatever. And she's like, when do we get to make those like treats again? And I'm like, they're for dogs, sweetheart. So anyway, human safe, people safe, kids safe, puppy safe. They're super fun. All right, we're going to finish up. We've got 5 minutes left in what we promised you. And I think Sabrina can probably do that. Maybe if you're willing to hang out a couple extra minutes. But this is a really fun conversation because as wellness advocates, we're passionate about getting the products to the people that are in front of us, of course. But honestly, it's more fun when you guys can share with people that we wouldn't otherwise know and be able to get a little kickback from doTERRA to apply to your orders so that this lifestyle can be a little bit more affordable for you. And so Sabrina is the person to talk about this because she's been able to implement this with her customers in a way that I really haven't seen anyone else be as successful with. And so I hope that you take just a few minutes to learn from her for how you can involve this aspect of sharing for yourself. So I'll let you take it away, Sabrina.
Okay, can everyone hear me? Yes? Okay, good. So we've talked about a lot of different products and oils today, right? Well, how can we get them for free? How can we get some of our, wish list items that we just maybe aren't financially able to at the moment? We're going to talk about 3 different types of people. We're going to talk about customers, sharers, and builders. And honestly, like the customers, like we're just talking to about people that that's all of us, right? That we're not necessarily if you're a customer or not, but people that want to live the wellness lifestyle, which I'm hoping is all of us since we're on this call, right? So we can move on to the next slide. So, but what does it look like to be a wholesale customer? Well, your first year is free. You get, it used to be $35, but now that's been waived and it's free as long as you're connected with a wellness advocate, which if you're on this call, you are. And with that, free membership for a year, you get 25% off of the retail price for a whole year. You get support, you get access to classes like this. You get, you can have one-on-one overviews to help you work through goals that you want to see in your health. And one thing I love too about doTERRA is there's no obligation to order monthly, like so many other companies, and there's no obligation to become to do it as a business. Like so many companies, you have to do that in order to get the 25% discount, whereas doTERRA doesn't, you don't have to do that. We can go up to sharers. So this is kind of where I want to spend the majority of this little section. So sharers are just people that are passionate about the products they're using and they are already telling, their friends and family about it. So we're just going to make a little scenario here about, because doTERRA has a program called the Refer a Friend program, which is just awesome. And I think it's totally underutilized by our customers and when they can use this program. So basically, so you have a friend named Sally, okay, and you've been using your peppermints for a headache, and she's like, hey, I want some of that, I have headaches. And so you can have, you have a link, it's called your Refer a Friend link. Every customer has it. And a little pro tip is to just save this link in your, as like a note in your app, so it's easy to access. You can just send Sally that link, and then that gets her, basically, it's a shopping cart where she can just add stuff to her cart and then check out. And whatever she orders, you would get 20% back on the PV value that she ordered. So that's just crazy if just by sharing, right? And I actually have a friend and customer who has used, her name's Kyla, and she became a customer in February, and she's used this Refer a Friend program 4 times already. Yes, here's that program here. And she's been able to just get a lot of oils off of her wish list. She has a very tight budget. So this is what she says. doTERRA's Refer a Friend program makes sharing your doTERRA obsession with your friends and family so easy. I've really appreciated that they send you back part of the proceeds from your referral. It's allowed me to expand my collection of oils for free. So like I said, she's a very tight budget. She's young, and she started, I think, with 2 oils. I think it was peppermint and wild orange. And since then, she's been able to buy so many different things because of the Refer a Friend link. And not only that, but she's helping her family, right? She's been able to help her family. So that is just one way that you don't have to do the business, but you're able to, get a little bit of doTERRA cash in order to expand your collection. So the last one we're going to talk about is the builders. So that's the wellness advocates. And these are people that not only are sharing, but like want to be a part of that journey, right? Of the journey of watching step by step through people's wellness journeys. Okay. And it's not as scary as it might sound. So taking that step. And I love this thing that it says up there, like if you start a side gig and you don't like it, like you can, especially with doTERRA's compensation plan and stuff, it's so easy to just be like, okay, well, I'm not gonna do that right now. Or, there's a season in life where I just can't really focus on it. Well, that's okay. And if you love it, like that's even better, right? Like it's just awesome. And so I just encourage you, if you're even thinking about it, like reach out to your wellness advocate, learn more. And it could just be a game changer for you and your family.
I feel like the best part is that we get to do this together. So I met Sabrina through a customer of mine that I had met through my work in chiropractic. And it's actually her mother. And so it's just so sweet how God intertwines our relationships. So Christy, her mom, has been a customer of mine for almost 10 years. And Sabrina just got her account a year ago. I bet you just got your renewal peppermint probably this month or will really soon. And just thinking about the way that that's impacted your family and watching how sharing doTERRA has given you a chance to take what you desire in the way that you do ministry and discipleship. And I mean, you guys were missionaries overseas for so long, and to be able to see you back here in the States, still being able to do mission work in that way where you're investing in the lives of people, you're figuring out what are their true physical needs and really being their person. I just think that's that's beautiful. That's ministry. And that's like, you get to do it in your own way. And all of us get to kind of choose how we do doTERRA. But as we share oils, and even if all we do is consume them for ourselves, even if that's all we do, we're still making a difference around the world. I love this sourcing chart because it just shows, like, every time, like, think about all the products and oils we talked about today and how many areas of the world, if you just use just what we talked about today, how much of an impact. And I know that means a lot to you, Sabrina. I appreciate your conversation here. And I love the work that you've done with Kyla and being able to expand what she's been able to do just by sharing, because she's going to do it anyway. That's the thing about shares, is like Sabrina and I are the same. Like, we started in that world too. Like, I'm going to tell you about it probably no matter if I get a kickback or not, because I want you to get the benefits of what I receive. But hey, if doTERRA is willing to give me some of the profit from that just so I can build my oil collection, like, I'm in. So appreciate this conversation. The last thing that I want to say is we have a new program that's going to be starting tomorrow that Kristen and I are eligible for, and it's going to give us an opportunity to share more with people who want to host classes, who want to share with friends and family, or who want to consider this as a business, in the way that doTERRA is going to offer us some free essential oils to give out to be doing that, as well as free product points and things that we're going to be able to spread the love. We also are going to be able to help people who have not ordered in the last 12 months be able to do that without paying for their renewal. And so we want to be in touch with you. If you hit any of those boxes, some things I can't share all here, but we'll be live as of tomorrow morning. We want to be able to connect with you, and just thankful that you guys have been able to join us this morning. I hope that it has been beneficial and helped you in your journey. So anything else, Kristen, Sabrina, Donna, Brooke, all of you, I just so appreciate this conversation and you guys taking time this morning to share all of this with us. Anything else? Otherwise, we'll let you all go.
Did you already say like how to get the longer recordings if they wanted to?
I'm going to put those together in a chart or a document, and then I'll be able to get that out to our advocates, and then they'll be able to, divvy out. So you just want to be able to contact back to the people that invited you here. I'm already starting to get some messages from some of my customers that have been on there. Like, I was on for this one, need the full link for this. So anyway, we'll be able to shoot all of that back to you guys here in the next week or so. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a good night. Good day. We'll talk soon.